Xbox One. Today we got a little special treat. Got a slightly early look at Kerbal Space Program, which is arriving soon on Xbox One. And I've had a couple minutes to play around with this, and I wanted to share it with everybody. And so here we are at the main menu. And we're going to head into training because it's really recommended. The game's got a lot going for it, a lot of technical knowledge, a lot of detailed, realistic physics, and so learning it is really a thing. And so we'll start with getting started in basic construction. Alrighty then. So we have our Werner von Karaman. And he's going to talk to us about the different parts of the Space Center. And we're going to head into the vehicle assembly building. Here in the vehicle assembly building is where you build all your rockets and or space planes. And we can start with the command module. And we're going to want to add a parachute to that. Let me move this so it can be more easily seen. Under the utilities are the parachutes. And I'm going to snap that right on top. We're going to want to configure that parachute, which means I need to slide this out of the way. And we're going to set the pressure higher so it doesn't pop too soon. You don't want to pop it in the high atmosphere. Going to need to throw a motor on this thing. Okay, so here's our booster. I'll slap that right on the bottom of the capsule because, you know, that's cool. And what he's telling us right now is that it's that booster is a bit much for this craft right now, so we're going to remove it. Teaching us how. And get rid of the thumper and put on the fleet. Get better fit. Now he's going to talk to us about the staging stack over here, where you can control the different various stages of operation. We want to separate boosting and parachuting into different stages, because if you forget to do that, the results are borderline tragic or hilarious, depending on how you're looking at it. But we'll move the booster down to the first stage and keep the parachute in the 0 or final stage. And we're going to have to name it. And because I'm a Top Gear fan, we'll do... I mean, old school Top Gear anyway. I haven't really watched any of the new stuff. I thrust. That looks like L thrust. Hammerhead. So the grandly named Eagle Eye Thrust Hammerhead is now christened, if you will, and we'll save it. And that's how you build a very basic hopper rocket with launch and parachute. We should be able to go to the next training now. Which is basic flight. Okay, so we got a bunch of controls they're going to run us through, a bunch of concepts. We've got the yaw, pitch, and roll, which if you're up on flight at all, you're pretty good with. And the controls. You can use the triggers to roll, and the left stick does your yaw and pitch, which is pretty basic. I find that the small craft particularly are really super responsive to the controller, so it's almost better to just not. The nav ball is your kind of gimbaled ball there that gives you your attitude and your vector attitude, if you will, the velocity vector, where your direction you're actually moving as opposed to where you're pointed. You got your vertical speed indicator, your altimeter, the atmosphere meter, the indication for the parachute as to when it's safe to open it, or what the state of it is once it's been opened. And we're ready to go. Nice little ride, 30,000 feet up. And what goes up must come down. So we'll pop the parachute. And have a nice gentle ride down. Maybe. There's the chute. Just about time for touchdown. And there you have it. That's basic flight. Just a nice little takeoff and landing. At this actually EVA too. You can have the little Kerbal jump out and move about on the surface. But we'll go ahead and move on to the next training. So far, I really like this game. I did mess around a little bit with the kind of starter mode, like I shouldn't say starter, but the career mode. I have 2 trainings and quickly, started just kind of monkeying with stuff. It rapidly turned into how many boosters can I stick on it until I was blowing things up. I think I had like a 50% non-fireball rating, so I was really getting it done. But it's a lot of fun. So now we're going to learn how to build a rocket that will get to orbit. Going to head on into the vehicle assembly building. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up the hopper. And then we're going to pull the flea motor off. Wants me to change the name again, and obviously all the effort I put into the eye thrust hammerhead was wasted, so we'll just call it Hopper 2. But at least I did show that you can do that when you're playing the regular game as opposed to the tutorials. So when you're playing the regular game, you do science on the launches, and that almost becomes like a currency for R&D of new technologies and such. And one way that you can add science is with this tank of goo. Now, prior to putting it on, you want to come down here to the symmetry counter, and we're going to put symmetry of 2, so that when we put one on, it'll nicely place 2 of them on there for us in symmetry, which is a handy thing to know, particularly if you're adding rocket boosters that aren't in an aligned along the axis of the vehicle, because when I tried to freehand put rocket boosters on, it was a bad mess. It was difficult with the controller to get them aligned nicely and not have a looping crazy death machine. It's one thing I'll say about the game is I do hope that when Microsoft gets around to putting keyboard and mouse support on it, that this will support it, because it kind of calls for it. At least for the construction and regular UI interface. The flight's okay. Okay, so what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to because it's not giving me the next. Why not? Oh, okay, I got ahead of myself on the step. So yeah, it wants to tell us to use the symmetry tab and put 2 of them on. So we'll do that. And now we need a decoupler, which allows you to do separations, which is a structural component. When I was messing around on my own after the 2 tutorials in the career mode, I managed to do solid boosters in a ring that decoupled and took me quite a ways away from the surface, but I burned up on re-entry. So now we're going to put some fuel tanks on because we're not going to use a solid motor this time. We're going to use a fuel burning, well, fuel and oxidizer burning engine. We don't need symmetry right now. So we'll count through the symmetry back to 1 and place a tank. And then if you hold the bumper, you can get another one by pressing the A button, and again, and again. And one more. And we'll put the motor on. Engine at that point. And some stabilizing fins. And we're going to want that symmetry on this one. Yeah. There we go. So we've made ourselves the Hopper 2. We'll go ahead and save it and move on to the next scenario. Now this one I haven't done before, and it could be a giant failure, but we'll see as far as my ability with it. I do think that this game will be pretty popular. It's you know, it's cerebral, it's something different. Okay, short suborbital flight over the water to the east. Nice arcing path that ensues a gentle, survivable re-entry. Okay, so we want to keep the nav ball pointed at the pink. D-pad up or down, left bumper, D-pad max or cutoff for throttle. Okay. Turn on the stability assistance. We had to set the throttle to 2/3 because it's more motor than we want. Alrighty. Start turning at 50 meters per second. Okay. Follow the target marker. The yellow crosshair is where we're our velocity vector. So we're looking good. Just turn a little more, he says. Throttle up. Getting a little toasty. We're coasting into space now. A little bit off the target, so we'll try to bring that back. At 70,000 meters for planet Kerbin, you leave the atmosphere. Couple things you can do in space. You can train Kerbals, do an EVA walk, activating the cursor and tapping B button while the cursor is over them. We're still in space. There's my zoom. Zoom is right bumper and right stick, but try this over here. Observe the mystery goo. Become brittle and clumped into a sphere. Sphere even. I'm with the ship here real quick. Where's my target at? There it is. Bottom first, huh? Okay. Turn off the SAS, adjust my attitude, and turn it back on. Get rid of the booster. Ah! Okay. Okay. So we arm the parachute, and it's waiting for the atmospheric pressure to be right to pop off. But yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're talking about, being able to build shuttles, landable craft, exploring other planets within the system. So yeah, it's got a lot of depth to it. I think that there's a lot of replay to this. It's been really hugely popular. I've mentioned that I got a chance to check it out with. I was really excited. So any second now on 2,000 meters, 2K, the parachute should pop off according to the tutorial. Lesson I learned when I was playing kind of freestyle was that the altimeter is sea level, so it may not actually be where the ground is, which went badly once. Looks like we're going to have a nice leisurely ride down to our splash. And then in the regular mode, you would send a recovery team out. Pretty cool about this game is if you do have a problem, you can revert. In the other modes that aren't separated by training headers, you could revert to launch and do the flight again, or you could revert to construction and make it like it never happened. I had launched when I was playing freestyle with some science equipment on it, but I thought it did it on its own. I didn't realize you interact with it until I just did this tutorial, so that's kind of cool. Give you something to do on the flight. So yeah, there you go, a little suborbital flight and nice landing with a science experiment done in the meantime. And so you get an idea of what the game is about, and apparently there's just a smorgasbord of parts and sandbox play and a lot of cool stuff involved. So really excited to dig into this along with my rotation of the stuff I've been playing recently, and one squad for it, and for letting me get that copy for review. I just want a full disclosure of that you know, I'm planning on a review copy for the Xbox One, which is due out soon. And so, and again, thanks to my partner in crime, Mike, over at the original Next Level Gaming, where this is going to be obviously being aired. So yeah, feel free to subscribe, and appreciate you right along in my first kind of Let's Play review combination preview. And I would say that it's a Juan seal of approval for depth and uniqueness on the console. There's not a lot like this on the Xbox, so yeah, it's a thumbs up for me. It has all the right stuff. I'll show myself out. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and great rest of your week.